Now, you told this court in your response that on the allegations of assault by accused number one, that you did not note injuries on him when you interacted, when you spoke to him, not so?
Yes, I'm referring to injuries to extent of him being suffocated and being kicked, because that's I was responding to that, and I supported that version with the current books and so forth. That is correct, madam.
Kuyiqiniso ngishilo ukuthi angibonanga ukulimala kuyena kuloko abekusho ukuthi washaywa ke wafaka uplastiki bemkhahlela futhi ke nezincwadi lezi zasemaphoyiseni akukho la yobhalwe khona.
You would agree with me that the absence of injuries, absence of visible injuries on a person, that does not translate to the fact that an assault has never happened, not so?
Well, I don't know. It's rather a medical question, and I don't know whether someone who's not trained in the field of medicine can really answer that question or not.
As it pleases the court, my lord. In as much as a person who has not been trained as a doctor may not say that the fact that there are no injuries, then it means that the allegation of assault are not true. In other words, when a person says, my lord.
Does it follow from what you are saying that it doesn't necessarily mean that if you are assaulted and there are no visible injuries, you are alleged to be assaulted and there are no visible injuries, there's no possibility that you were not assaulted?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but now...
But on the same breath, my lord.
Yeah, fine.
On the same breath, a person who has not been trained, and I'm responding directly to my question.
You can ask the question, no problem.
Yeah, thank you, my lord. Say, the fact that you could not see visible injuries on Mr. Sibiya, that does not necessarily mean that his allegation of assault are unfounded, not so?
So, my lord, so I'll answer it this way. As it's being put to me currently, I will not dispute that currently, because obviously the time has lapsed from 2020. But in 2020, had that been said to me, then one would have easily confirmed that by submitting him or sending him for a medical examination, as I tried to do when there was a reporting that he was assaulted by the police from Silverton, by the presiding officer. We tried to embark on the process of sending him to the doctor for J88, which he refused. So, insofar as what is being put to me, I agree with Advocate MNISI. But insofar as what transpired in 2020, that's not what I saw, and that's not what he told me. He didn't say to me he was assaulted.
Ukungabikhona-ke noma ungabonakali kokulimala akusho-ke lokho ukuthi-ke lokhu akushoyo imsolo ukuthi washaywa akusilona iqiniso. Uma ungibuza lokho-ke manje njengesikhathi samanje yebo ngavubelana-ke nawe, kodwa uma lokho kwakubuzweke ngalesiya sikhathi noma-ke ngo-2020 angizothi-ke lokho kuzofanele ukuthi-ke kuqinisekiswe kuyena-ke udokotela ngokuthi umuntu ahanjiswe-ke kudokotela. Yilokho-ke ngangizama nokwenza ngathi-ke kuney'nsolo zokuthi washaywa amaphoyisa ase-Silverton ukuthi akahambe kayebona udokotela, kodwa-ke wanqaba.
Thank you, Brigadier. I'm doing this with a view to try and clear up certain things that you came up with in your response, which might be a little bit not so accurate. Now you said that Mohula was responsible for Sibia because it is Mohula who had arrested Sibia. Did I hear you well there?
No, I don't think you heard him. Perhaps you had partly corrected my note. When I say responsible, I'm referring to the investigating officer. The person whom I assigned the docket to was Sergeant Mohula, and by the virtue of that, she is responsible. That is why the application for J50 was here. But in addition, my lord, that is why I said we then had the SWAT team, which was an elite unit, and I know she was assisted there. So I do not know who played what role there, but the SWAT team was there. But insofar as the responsibility in terms of the docket, the processing of it, and the investigating officer was Sergeant Mohula. So I was saying that in that context, my lord.
Uma bengithi ke wayengaphansi kwakhe uSergeant Mohula bengikhuluma ke uphenyo wakhe beqala umuntu okuyena wayephenya kodwa ngiyazi ke ukuthi ke nalaba ke noma iqembu leli leSWAT lalikhona ke ukuthi ke lilekelele lapho bengisho lokho mangithi ke waye umuntu waye responsible noma umuntu wayengaphansi kwakhe kwakuyena uSergeant Mohula.
Thank you. So in other words, you're saying although the SWAT team was requested to come and assist there in the capacity in which they were requested in, but the main person was responsible for the investigation and probably the custody of the person of Mr. Sibia must have been Mohula. Should I understand you in that context?
No, not the last part, because the custody, obvious, Sergeant Mohula is a female, so I think if they are males, they may want to take a primary role in terms of the control. But yes, insofar as Sergeant Mohula being the IO, my lord, and the carrier of the docket, she leads. The other members were there to support. She's the one that would say, here's the warrant of arrest, and whatever support the members will want to support their own, they would have then supported in that regard. I was not there, but what I know and what I'm saying to this court is that she was the investigating officer and in charge of the investigation, and as well as the docket.
Engishoyo ke ngayo uSergeant Mohula ukuthi ke uyena ke wayehola noma ke uphenyo ke nokuthi idokodo uma kuukuthi ke nayi ke iwarrant noma ke incwadi ethi ke akaboshwe ke, then abanye laba bakhona ke bona ke kuyibona ke abantu besilisa bekuzoba yibona ke abantu abazothi balekeleleke kuloko, kodwa ke umuntu behola ke ukuthi uphenyo bekuba kuyena uSergeant Mohula ekhuluma ngaleyo ndlela.
Even if I really don't follow what you're trying to explain, but it's fine. We never intended to make a mountain out of this, Brigadier. Now, you also said that you never saw a Ford Ranger at First Lawrence Police Station when accused number 5. No. When accused number 1 opened his eyes. I see Advocate MNISI, he nearly jumped up when I mentioned accused number 5. It was just a slip of a tongue. Now you said you never saw a Ford Ranger when accused number 1 opened his eyes. I just heard you saying that. Is that what you said?
No.
At First Lawrence, when you're trying to explain that his version is devoid of all truth.
Yes, so what I said, my lord, is that I stand by my submission, which I've said now and earlier, that when I arrived in Fostoras, accused number 1 was in a VW Golf that was assigned to Sergeant Mohula. That is the vehicle I interacted with accused number 1 on, and not the Ford Ranger.
Engikushoyo ke noma engishilo ngaphambili engisakushoyo namanje ukuthi uma ngifika eFostoras imoto wayena ke umsola wokuqala ekwakuyimoto ke eyayinikezwe yena ke uSergeant Mohula kwakuyi VW Golf.
But you further said, Brigadier, specifically that you never saw a Ford Ranger there.
Yes, my lord, I'm saying I didn't. That's the accused, because I understood the statement saying he was in a Ford Ranger. At some stage, he was taken out to sit in a pavement. I'm saying that's not what I saw. When I arrived, he was in a VW Golf. That's the car that I saw. Introductions were done. I interacted with him in the VW Golf, sitting and joining him in the backseat. Thereafter, we moved to Ayrton. At no stage did I see a Ford Ranger or him being moved to a Ford Ranger. That's the assertion I was making, my lord.
Thank you.
Engikuphendulayo noma engishoyo nge-Ford Ranger ukuthi ke imoto engafika ke lapha kuyona umsola kwakuyi-VW i-Golf imoto ke wayehlezi kuyona ke ngoba ke insolo bezithi ke wakhishwa ke kuyona ke i-Ford Ranger wabe sehlaliswa phansi sihambile ke lapho saya e-Ayrton ke angibonanga i-Ford Ranger iloko engishoyo.
Thank you. This I'm clarified. Now you further told the court that there seems to be a bit of a change of scenes because at one stage I put it to you that you met accused person in the precinct of the police station, but at the same time there were so many shops there, you really don't know where accused person was in terms of what I put to you. Is that what you said?
So no, so let me start here, my lord. What I said is that the version in my recollection of what was put to me by the late Mr. Mkumuzulu.
Yes.
It was never said that I was present at any place when accused number one was assaulted. That's the first part that I was recalling.
Eyokuqala ke so engishilo ukuthi nkathi ke esekhona Mr. Mngomezulu kaze asho ukuthi ke ngangikhona kuleyo ndawo noma la ayeshayelwa khona ke umsola.
And I'm saying now it is contrary to what I'm hearing now that I was present personally when he was assaulted. That's the first part I dealt with.
Engishoyo ke ngithi ke manje lokho ke engikutshelayo ke manje ukuthi manje sekuthiwa ke ngangikhona ukuthi kuhlukile ke kuloko okwakushiwo kumina ngaphambilini.
Now I then explained my knowledge of where the municipal offices are situated in Fosoras, my lord. And that is where I said, when you come in, there's a shopping center. I even made reference of the taxis and them Amapela. And I said, during the time when they called me, it was during the day. It was just after 2. And I said, there's a shopping center, a lot of shops there. Next to it, there's this municipal offices. And I explained that further down, then there's a court, and then the police station. And I said, in my thinking, I'm finding it strange that police officers in a place that is adjacent to the shops, a shopping center, during the day on Saturday, will embark in these criminal activities, because that would have been criminal in terms of this brutal assault I'm being told about, without facing any repercussions. Eyewitnesses could have seen them and then reported them accordingly. So I'm saying, in that notion, I'm finding that description difficult for me. But I took it further, my lord. That is not only that, because it's not isolated. That was also coupled with the occurrence books that we obtained subsequent to that determined the condition he was in when he was detained in Valeria after Colonel Mboto. In what condition, the regular visits that were done leading up to the time that he went to court on the 1st of June. And I said, in all the entries and the visits, there was nowhere where it was indicated that he was assaulted or that he reported to any officer or members of the holding cells that he was assaulted or he was in pain or he seeks medical attention. And I said, on those bases, I'm finding it difficult, in addition, my lord, to the form that was completed by Colonel Mboto, that even there, he does not say he was assaulted. So I'm saying, based on those facts collectively, it is difficult for me to comprehend that would have happened. So the adjacent was made in the issues of the assault, my lord. The adjacent of the municipality and the shops, my lord. It was in that regard.
Uma bengikhuluma ke ngendawo lena ke kamasipala kanye nezitolo ke bengizama ukuchaza ke ukuthi leya ndawo leyana ikanjani ke izitolo elaphayana ngize ngakhuluma ngawo ke amatekisi akhona laphayana ngaze ngasho nokuthi futhi ke amaphela ebengikusho ke ngishilo nokuthi ke kune uma wehla ke ngalowo mgwaqo lowo ikhona inkantolo lapho ipolice station kanye futhi ke nale izitolo eziningi ezikhona lapho bengithi ke ukuthi ke amaphoyisa amshayele endaweni enjalo ke ukuthi bebezaba khona ofakazi bakubone konke lokho ebekwenzeka lapho bengisho kanjalo.
Thank you, Brigadier. Let's not try to, actually, let me not say let us because by saying that I will be including myself. I'm excluding myself. But let the court not be misled in one of the many ways. You would recall that throughout your testimony, either in your evidence in chief in the main trial and in your evidence in chief in a trial within a trial, you have been constantly saying to this court that this incident took place at the hardcore time when there was that COVID, not so?
That is correct, ma'am. No. So when you say the incident,
I mean, I'm sorry. The arrest of accused number one. When I'm saying incident, I'm referring to the arrest of accused number one.
yes, it was during the COVID period, my lord. That I agree.
Yebo ngiyavuma-ke ukuthi-ke kathi kuboshwe yena-ke umsola lokho kwenzeka ngaso-ke isikhathi se-COVID.
So it will thus be misleading to suggest that at that hardcore time of COVID, there were many people on the streets. They could have seen this incident. It's like it was business as usual. You know what circumstances were there in COVID, not so? Movement was extreme, particularly this period. I think we're at level 5 or level 6. Movement was extremely limited, not so?
That's not my recollection, my lord. I know there were restrictions insofar as what time could people be outside. But I'm not sure that people were not at certain stage allowed to go to the shops during the day. And that is why I was specific about the time period, that if you look at the time, it was during the day. Although I may not know exactly what were the restriction period at that time, but at that time it was during the day. And I think restrictions were mostly prevalent in the afternoons, my lord. And I may be wrong, because then one will have to go in research. But the primary thing, my lord, it was during the day, adjacent to the shop, and it was adjacent to the shopping center, and it was on Saturday, my lord.
Engikushoyo-ke kusengenzeka-ke ukuthi ngingazi-ke ukuthi-ke kwakuyisiphi-ke isigaba-ke kona-ke lokho ngokuthi mayela kodwa-ke ngishilo-ke ukuthi kwakusemini futhi-ke kuney'tolo ey'khona-ke laphayana kuloko kushiwo-ke kumele ukuthi-ke siyazi-ke ukuthi-ke inhlelo-ke ngaleso sikhathi leso la khona-ke abantu babengahambi-ke noma-ke kunemigomo-ke abantu babengahamba ngaphansi kwayo.
Thank you, Brigadier. Brigadier, you are further perpetuating that which I will call as misleading the court. Because you, in your own word, said that you met accused person there with your other team members at 7 o'clock in the evening. And now we are saying it was during the day.
No, my lord.
Yes.
I think then there's perhaps a misunderstanding of what we are saying. We are talking on cross purposes. If I may
perfectly
explain.
understood you. Maybe if you suspect that there might be others who misunderstood you, then you're welcome to correct that misunderstanding. But I perfectly understood you.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. We're talking on cross purposes, my lord.
Yes.
And I said, and it's in the diary, I said my interaction with accused number one was at 1900 hours, and I stand by that. But coming back to the version that was put to me, and I was moving from the version that was put by Advocate MNISI to me to say after accused was picked up, arrested, and I'm moving from that flow because I was informed he's arrested after 2. He says, according to the version of his client, they took the highway November 3, took a certain off-ramp, got to this place where he was assaulted, and then when the plastic was removed, there was a new face, and that was me. If I take into account, my lord, where he was arrested to Fostoras, it can't take him 3 hours to get there. So the logic for me dictates that he would have arrived there during the day. That is according to his version, not my version. I'm saying I met him in the evening in the VW Golf. So this assertion of during the day is not my version, my lord. I was responding to the version of accused number 3. So number 1, I beg your pardon, my lord.
Uma bengiphendula-ke mina bengiphendula kuloko okushiwo uyena-ke umsola wokuqala ngoba-ke ngaphambilini ushilo-ke ngomlomo wakhe ummeli wakhe ngomlomo wommeli wakhe ukuthi-ke okwenzeka-ke lapho ukuthi emuva kokuthi eboshiwe-ke bahamba-ke noma basuka-ke lapho behamba ngawo-ke umgwaqo u-N3 highway ila abajika khona-ke bengena kwilokishi lase-Fostoras emuva kwalokho base bengena kule ndawo-ke kamasipala ila athi bashayelwa khona-ke. Manje bengiphendula kulokho-ke ukuthi emuva kokuthi eboshiwe-ke kuleyo ndawo leyo, mina ngisamile-ke kulokho engikushilo ngaphambilini ukuthi ukuhlangana kwami naye umsolwa kwakungehora lesikhombisa ntambama.
Thank you, Brigadier. As I said to you, I understood you well, and I'll never be confused.
Family, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. I'm back again. This is Zebra Family Channel, family, and today I want to talk about what was going on in court. I will make part 1 and I'll have part 2, part 3 of today's court. So what I don't understand in court is when Brigadier Gininda answers questions that he is not asked. Number 2, what I don't understand with Brigadier Gininda, he seems to be on a defense. He is not giving, he is not showing the court as to how he arrested those 5 accused. He is not showing that. But he is always on the defense side trying to defend himself instead of making the court understand as to how these guys were arrested and why they were arrested. These are the points why these guys were arrested. But he's always ahead of MNISI because every time he will answer every question at length. Something that just need a short answer, he will go at length because he is trying to cover a ground that he is not asked. And this thing that he is doing, as smart as MNISI is, he is tying himself with his own rope at the end of it. When MNISI summarize everything, he will start to show him that you said this, you did this, you did this, you did this, and it's kind of crazy. I was surprised to hear Baloyi standing up and objecting when Advocate MNISI was talking about invisible injuries. He said that's a medical thing. It's Brigadier Gininda is not a doctor. I just want to remind Advocate Baloyi and Brigadier Gininda, at some point, when Sambo came there to come and rectify the Mjiago issue, he was asked about Call Me. He's not working for Vodacom. That there was a Call Me that Ndanzi sent to Mjiago. He was not there for that. But he happened to answer questions. But lucky enough, nobody interjected on that one and say, no, you can't ask that question. It was kind of crazy. So I feel like there's a lot of things that are going on in that court. And I salute him and see what he is doing. He is doing a very remarkable job in court. I hope he will continue the way he continues. And what is your opinion listening to this video? Because Brigadier Gininda is there to keep on denying everything. There's nothing that he wants to agree on. He will deny and at a long run try to roll back. If he feels like Advocate MNISI was not going to that port, then he will start to roll back and start talking about something else, which is not a good thing. I have noticed a lot that even the judge at some point, he just interjects MNISI for no apparent reason. And when he is being confronted by MNISI, he will shift everything and say, continue asking that question. Even on the medical question that Accuse, there were injuries, that he was tortured in a way that the injuries were not visible. The judge interjected. But when MNISI started confronting the judge with the facts, then he started pushing everything away because he is that kind of a person. Whenever he's being confronted about something that he feels, oh, this guy got me, he will try to push it away from him, like, let's go on, okay, let's forget, let's deal with time and all this kind of things. He'll bring a lot of issues. So that shows that the judge at some point, I don't feel he is doing justice. And these days, there's kind of something that I'm noticing since there's this white lady sitting in front of him. It's kind of not too sneaky, I would say, or he's kind of like a little bit cool, but sometimes he's cool, sometimes it jumps. And he realizes later and jump back and start to cool down. I don't understand this judge. I'm really trying to understand him, but at some point I just lose it myself because when I watch him, there's some point whereby he was confronted by MNISI. And the way he responded to MNISI, I didn't like it, but I'm still going to make that video. Family, what do you think about what is going on in court? Do you think this judge is doing justice there? Or he is still going on with the cooking that is going on in that court? What do you think, family? Drop your comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bravo.